Hey guys, how are you? So we're getting back to our regular scheduled programming where I am going to talk about the coronavirus, but I'm now going to be focused directly on recovery and all the things that we need to do to recover, all the things that I'm doing to recover. And today I'm going to be talking about journaling about the coronavirus. Okay, this is what I just did. I just journaled about all of the emotions, all of the anxieties, fears, angers, conflicts that I'm going through as a result uh, of this just huge change that's occurred in all of our lives. Until now, I hadn't done that. And like here I am, I've got a channel where I tell people that one of the most important things to do is to acknowledge, bring to the surface your day-to-day emotions from the past, emotions from daily living, and the primary tool for that aspect of it is journaling, and I haven't done it in since this whole thing started. So if you haven't done it also, do it. Do it. Don't forget, this is a big change, and I'll discuss in a second why I hadn't done it, all the reasons why I hadn't done it, and maybe you can get some value out of that. But let me just briefly tell you, I feel so much better. I just did it. I journaled for 20 minutes, and then I did a 20-minute kind of a loving kindness type meditation, because you'll recall in a previous video I mentioned that it's important to bring all of these emotions to the surface, but you don't want to end up in a situation where you just rile yourself up, and so the idea is not to re-traumatize yourself, not to just stir things up, but to then soothe it. And so my approach to that is to follow up the journaling with a meditation. I do a lot of different meditation practices, and I'll talk about that later, but that's just one method. Yeah, so I just wrote up for 20 minutes, I just wrote about, just the anxiety about getting sick, the anxiety about my parents getting sick, the anxiety about, the economic situation, my parents are retired and my dad has a small business. He's got a medical practice and he's in New York City where things are really bad right now. And, what's going to happen with all that, and just having to stay at home after, my life has just begun and, I'm out there, but now this thing hits, that makes me angry, and how, all of that, and all the conflicts I'm experiencing, how much should I do for myself? How much should I help other people in need right now? Things like that, because, I still got to take care of myself because I'm not 100 yet. But at the same time, I am inclined, to offer help where I can to people. So managing that, sort of, there's some guilt there and stuff like that. Whether it's right or not, I understand that, that this guilt could be quote unquote irrational or whatever, or you shouldn't feel guilty. But, you feel what you feel, and the first step is to acknowledge that. So I just dumped all of that out, and I hadn't done it since this thing started, so it's it feels really good to have done it. I feel like a release, actually. And another thing I wrote about is, actually, I'd gotten a cold I don't know, a little over a month ago, and it was a genuine cold, but then, I had some symptoms, and sometimes it's hard to distinguish. Sometimes it's easy to distinguish, but sometimes it's hard to distinguish. Okay, is this still the lingering cold, or is this TMS? And so I haven't exercised, and I've gained a little bit of weight, just a little bit, and I'm having difficulty distinguishing, and I'm afraid, okay, I don't want to take any physical resources from my body in case I do have, the coronavirus or whatever. I don't want. I want my body to have the full resources that it needs to sort of to take care of the virus and to move on. But then, there's that, well, maybe I don't have it. Maybe it's just, my fear, and I'm reacting to this whole situation. And so there's sort of that fight that I'm going through inside, so you understand, right? And so I wrote about all that, and like that feels great too. And then after I finished writing, like I said earlier, I did a 20-minute meditation, and just to soothe all of that, all of those emotions, just to soothe. I mean, you could do something else if you don't want to do a meditation. You could maybe look at pictures of nature, or just sit quietly, which is a kind of a meditation, really, or just do something soothing. Maybe look at photographs that make you feel calm and relaxed. Uh, but that's like an extra element that I'm adding now that I think is going to be helpful. Um, so why hadn't I done it till now? Why has it taken me so long to do it, even though I'm kind of like, I'm aware of it, I talk about it, I recommend it to people? One reason is that it's just how I am. When things come up, I don't lose my head. I handle when shit hits the fan. I'm the person that doesn't lose his head. I'm directing. Okay, you do this. We got to do this. I have a plan. I'm adjusting the plan. I'm handling the situation. And the way I'm able to do that is that all those feelings that come up, automatically down. That's getting in the way of life right now. So I'm getting information. I'm planning. I'm making decisions. I'm in that mode. Uh, and like, should I stock up on groceries? How much? What precautions should I take? What's too much? What's too little? So I'm in that sort of mode. But then I don't leave time for the stuff that's going on inside. And it's kind of it's not completely hidden from me, but you've got to really like take the time to say, okay, now I'm dedicating the time to just focus on all that stuff. So that's what I did, and if you haven't done it yet, I recommend you do it. And this is just my general pattern with journaling, is that I'll journal about a bunch of things from the past, from the present, and then I just feel like I have nothing more to say. It's like I've cleaned up sort of all these emotions, uh, and then they accumulate bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit, and I sort of forget that, oh, journaling. Don't forget about that. Um, and then it's like once they reach a certain threshold, I'm like, okay, I gotta write about this stuff, and that's what happened in this case. I just kind of, I had done a lot of journaling. I went through a period, and I needed to take a little break from that because I didn't have anything to say, and I just needed to integrate all that stuff, and then like stuff accumulated fast, and I just hadn't gotten to it. So now I have, and I'm going to continue, because I don't think just once. I don't feel like I've really processed everything just yet. You sort of, there's layers and layers and layers that you go through, and for me it's intuitive. I just get a sense of um, I just get a sense that there's stuff there that I'm gonna have to, like, maybe tomorrow or in a couple of days, sort of address it again and see what's up. Yeah, so getting back to our recoveries, the world is different. This brings up a lot of issues for a lot of people. Personal safety, the safety of your friends, family, your community, your country, the world, the safety of, economic safety. Like, you know, people are in different circumstances. There's going to be a big economic thing going on. There's going to be a lot of there's already a lot of unemployment, and governments are handling things, differently. And will they be able to provide relief in time? Depending on where you are, it's going to be very different. But the point is, everybody's going through a lot of stuff right now emotionally. So it doesn't hurt to journal about that. Yeah, so let me know how it's going for you. Have you journaled yet about this stuff? Am I like the late one on the scene, or have you also like done what I've done and sort of just kind of forgotten about it, really, and just been taking care of the stuff and forgotten to take care of the inside as well? All right, guys, I'll talk to you next time. like, subscribe, and all that, and you know, we'll get through this. We will.